let's talk about gold.
Let's talk
Let's
about
do it.
gold.
Gold also has hit gold hit an all-time high
All time
today.
high, yeah.
So
2100.
it's one of these things that is soaring. And it's interesting. So what's your thoughts on gold?
I think even going back to what Chris was talking about with art, crypto, I think the big lesson that we all just need to reiterate is hold every asset for a long period of time. I know, and JC was writing me this past weekend. We were having some conversation about investing because everyone was like, well, if gold hits an all-time high, is the stock market going to crash? No, they don't have to. I think people are so fearful of a crash, they keep missing out on the upside of everything. So Dow is doing well, ES is doing well, NASDAQ is doing incredibly well, XLK, healthcare, Bitcoin doing well. You just have to hold for the long term. So it's always been a good asset class to invest in. It wouldn't be top 4 in my investment portfolio, but you do need exposure to it for sure. So and gold may continue to push to new highs because those that are worried about the stock market are deploying a lot of capital into gold. So I think the key lesson is just to hold for a 7 to 10 year time frame, something we talked about endlessly here. But it's great to see all these assets go up. Now, my only concern is like when would the bond market start to turn and go to the upside? But I think we're going to see our market continue to melt up to the upside.
Yeah.
So should people invest in gold?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And trade it. Like GC is the future, what you can trade. But yeah, 19 Keys has come on here 3 or 4 times and talked about it. Like at the end of the day, please write this in chat. Hold everything for 7 years. Like imagine if we would have sold the rights to the show year 1, how upset we would be right now. The key is to hold everything for a 10-year period. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Troy.
I was just saying it. Gold usually performs in times of economic uncertainty and geopolitical uncertainty. And so, if you
Yep.
look, even in February of 2022, right, we saw gold go to 2078, so $2,078,
Yeah.
which at the time was an entry day high. Well, what happened in February of 2022? Russia invades Ukraine, right?
Yes.
Now, so if we look at present day, gold hits 2100. Well, what geopolitical issue is happening right now, right? So if you look at Israel and Hamas, so
Hamas,
during these
yeah.
times, you're going to see people start figuring out where they're going to store value. Gold is usually the place that they put it. And so that is one of those measures. So anytime you see geopolitical issues, you see economic uncertainty right now when we're talking about inflation, we're talking about interest rates, we're talking about potential recessions. I know soft landing is looking more likely,
Yeah.
even though we might have to change the definition a bit. Those are the times when you're going to start seeing gold peak. Now that it's hit 21, I don't really, and I was reading the article too, and I was kind of agreeing with a lot of the points in it. I don't see what stops it from the next 2 years, maybe from getting to
2,300.
2300.
Yeah.
I don't really see the barrier that's in place that would stop it.
Because the conflict, I don't see that slowing down. We have some concerns here that we have to worry about. We have to figure out what we're going to do with China if we're going to get along. So I agree. I can see a market where it does hit 2,200, 2,250, and then NASDAQ continues to push higher, and so does Bitcoin. Because you don't want to be sitting on the sideline. And I think because this was like the most obvious recession, nothing dropped. Everyone doesn't want to have money sitting on the sideline. I think we have like the smartest investor class of all time now. Capital isn't going to be sitting on the sidelines like how it was in 08 and 09, and we got caught off guard. Like people want these gains now. Gone is the era of like wanting 7% return. Everyone wants 20. The S&P is up 20%.
Right.
Like what? In time of unrest, I'm like, imagine if all these conflicts go away, and we get.
You're talking about the conflicts are going away, but we're even talking about interest rates. Look at the height at the interest rates are now, and they're talking about they might come down maybe 5 times in 2024. There was an article in the Wall Street Journal this weekend about potentially having interest rates drop 5 times next year. And so when you add into all those things, this is why we always say diversify what you're investing in, right? So yeah, you might have some commodities, have it in equities, have a little bit in crypto, have some real estate, have it all, right? Because when there's a down market somewhere, there's going to be
something that's going to jump to the upside.
Exactly.
Yeah. Hold for 10 years. Like I can't stress it Like, how long y'all plan to continue to do and earn your leisure and asset of liabilities?
It's almost over, y'all. Swiss Beats,
Happy birthday, Hov.
Rough
Not
Riders.
a hoe. Hold on.
I'm gonna hit y'all with these last two and split and leave with
Hey.
nothing but my influences.
They're calling me. They're calling me
Finito.
home.
It's almost over, y'all.
They're calling me home.
Hey,
It's
where did
been
they
real.
go? Why did they
It's
leave?
been real.
To the
We got 14 more years of content to do,
Apollo.
bro.
It's been real. It's been real.
Do you think the 9 roommate play because they saw inflation coming to be so high? Next subject.
Real world road rules challenge.
We should pitch the show.
For sure.
Yeah.
What more can I say?
Mark Zuckerberg sold almost $200 million of Meta shares. Is there anything to be concerned about that, or is that just business as usual?
Meta's dead. I'm gonna do it again. He deserves to take these shares. Like, I mean, he's worked incredibly hard, fought through the fire, rebranded through the rebrand of Facebook to Meta, which, for the record, I said the death of Facebook, and they changed the name to Meta. So after all this work and of this era and generation, he's probably, I mean, definitely top 4 CEOs of all time, changed the culture of the world through Instagram, through the acquisition, has done a good job in acquiring WhatsApp, and has done a better job of not having such a cantankerous relationship with those on the hill. It's fair for him to cash out. Also, too, like 2024 should be a year. If you look at the Bennett cycle that I made popular, that I don't always get credit for, but who needs credit when I have y'all love? Oh, 2024 should be a year where we bottom out and a bunch of new capital will go into the market. It's time for him to take some of those shares and enjoy some of the fruits of his labor. And I think it's been 7 years since he's cashed out last time. Go study. Even bringing up Andrew and like homework assignment. Go look at everything A16Z has invested in and try and do deductive reasoning as to why and how you should set your portfolio up to do the same. They have a hedge-based portfolio. Even if all of crypto does terrible the next 2 years, which it won't, the defense investment will offset any of those losses. You need to be able to hedge. So I think Zuckerberg has just done a great job of knowing when to exit some of these positions. And he's deserved it if anybody else in the world has. Like, he's done a fantastic job.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great liquidation event.
Absolutely.
190 million. Like you said, I mean, when he was sitting in Congress in was it 2021, November 21?
I think so, yeah.
And he was in the heat of the fire. He rose to the occasion, right? So we saw it trading. It was almost down to 170 a share.
Yep.
Now it's up over at 316. We saw what his investment was inside of the metaverse. That didn't work, and people they just kind of haven't brought that up. Kind of, it's just kind of one of those things. $50 billion investment. All right, this is not how we're going to pivot, and he's done it pretty elegantly.
He's done it incredibly. As critical as I was, and I was right about the metaverse thing, he stopped the bleeding and adjusted incredibly well. Crazy. He's also being an A-tier CEO and leader. He used that as motivation to get the company back and have the culture rally around what they do. And I think there will be room for the metaverse. I think there just needs to be more maturation in the space, but they've done an incredible job. We won't even talk about the Facebook coin that got blocked. Yep. I think they could have had some headwinds there if that would have been passed, but they've done a great job. I think they've made some great improvements on IG, on Facebook as well. So they're integrating WhatsApp a lot better than the thing. So yeah, he definitely deserves this.
190.
Yeah. Rashad, you ain't gonna light Ian up for changing his take. They want us to fight. Can we fake fight about something?
Sheesh. Debate.
They want the skit so bad, knowing that the fight skit's not paying.
Sheesh, man.
What do you know?
What do you know? Well, let's go back to Bitcoin for a minute. So, what's your personal take? Do you think it could hit $100,000 next year?
I would say 25, because I just don't know the geopolitical. If the geopolitical stuff gets cleared, and I'm waiting for the the ETF approval. Like, if people don't know, BlackRock's approval rate is like 572 to 1. We thought Floyd was the greatest. Like, when that takes off, and I wanted to ask Chris, but like, how many institutional players buying in will take it to go to 100,000? But if we see at some point these are going to be put in the 401ks and 403bs, oh my, it's game set match. Because if we look at the numbers, Bitcoin has outperformed the S&P and NASDAQ by far over a 5-year, 1 year, and if we go a 10-year period, is nothing like
about
it.
No, there's
So
never,
if we have never been done. So if there's some stabilization, or if they say, hey, if crypto ever drops 35%, these mutual funds are automatically going to buy in orders to prop it back up. It's a game set match. So I don't know if it'll be next year, but by end of 2025, early 2026, I could see it being there. I don't think we're going to have the same issue where it zips up from 25,000 to 70 or 60 something thousand real fast. But once we break like 65, 601, and if there's still orders coming in, it's off to the races at that point.
Yeah, if you look at the 4-year life cycle of Bitcoin over the past 12 years, the 4th year in the cycle is usually the peak of it. So this is year 3, right? Yeah. And so now we're heading into year 4. So everything that you're saying is spot on. I see it. I don't know if 100,000 is the number, but definitely getting back.
I see 60s
over the 60s.
Yeah.
So the people who hold it, who held and hold HODL, they're feeling great. And those who invested and they saw it depreciate over the past year but didn't sell, you should be feeling okay. Well, this is why I'm here. This is investing. This is what investing looks like.